Push against the universe. Push against the universe. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Hey everybody, my name is Drew Philippoulias. I'm the co-host of Between Nerds Podcast. I'm here with my other co-host, Mr. Aldo Mendez. What's up, buddy?
I'm fucking good, brother. I'm glad to be recording a day late. You know, but...
Sorry, everybody.
Hey, life happens.
I was also appreciative of the day off. I had a lot of chores to do yesterday.
I also did have a lot of chores to do because I had to clean up a whole party. So, it was good.
First party for what?
My son's first birthday.
I spoiled it a little bit. I said first party.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was really
Happy
great
birthday
time.
to my son.
Yeah.
You're watching this later on.
No offense, viewing and listening audience, but Zaid Mendez does take precedence. So we had a great time. I think it was well worth it. Shout to Zaid. And I'm happy to be here, bro. We are just going to be discussing the 2018 sports badminton anime.
Badminton.
That is Hanebado. Mm-hmm. This is the second week of our April Madness sports theme month.
I wanted to do a certain tune for the intro. I'm pretty sure this big sporting programming would have something to say about it.
What do you mean? We couldn't use the Sports Center theme.
Yeah.
We tried our best, but our attorneys...
We tried to reach to them. They didn't answer.
Yeah, they said no. So, and again, at the beginning of this episode, again, the housekeeping notes that we go over every week. Mm-hmm. For the past 3-4 months or so, we have not had any entries at all into our monthly giveaways. Mm-hmm. Because the thing about it is every month, mm-hmm. we pick a nonprofit. We pick a nonprofit cause, and then we pick a nonprofit from said cause.
And we mostly want to do a local thing.
Right.
Know?
So we'll pick a cause. We'll find a local nonprofit that fits said cause. And then we'll try to do like a fundraiser of sorts. Mm-hmm. So, for example...
A fundraiser that you don't pay anything for.
Exactly. All you have to do is use the hashtag for the month, right? So, for example, para ejemplo, for the month of April, if you were to use hashtag Nerds for Autism, that is NERDSFORAUTISM, an original tweet, Instagram post, or YouTube comment, you would be automatically entered into our April giveaway. We will get you some hand-picked nerd shit. You like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we'll get you JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You like Hanebado, we'll get you something Hanebado.
I'm sure there's some Hanebado stuff.
There has to be some
There
Hanebado.
has to be some Hanebado. Why would that be?
Because it's a good anime,
all right.
So, to said point, you don't have to do anything. You're not paying anything. We are using y'all's social media presence to raise funds for the Autism Society of El Paso, for example, with the month of April.
Correct. And we've done this every single month since the podcast has been doing, which brings me to another point. But yes, please reach out to us to any social media tags in Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Between Nerds. Also email at betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com for any concerns or any comments, or if you don't want to share your thoughts with us through social media, just hit us up there. YouTube, subscribe, like. Also, use the hashtag on YouTube. Also, put your comments on YouTube if you want them there. There's a shitload of episodes. I don't know. We do good as content creators.
Well, don't let me forget my point though. I didn't finish my spiel on how the nonprofit giveaway works. So, for every like and retweet on said Instagram posts, YouTube comments, or Twitter tweets that use the hashtag, we donate to the nonprofit, right? Mm-hmm. So if we had a tweet, we'll take the bigger number. If it's 5 retweets, 6 likes, we'll count that as $6 towards said nonprofit, right? Mm-hmm. The past 3 months, we've had no hashtag use, no entries into 3 different nonprofits. Mm-hmm. Y'all are making us look bad right now. Like, we're trying to be productive members of the community
here. Yeah. And most of our listeners are here in El Paso, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Except for those like 6 French listeners, whoever the fuck you are.
And Dominican Republic, we love you too.
Australia too. There's one fucker in Australia that's listening to every episode. Love you. Email us.
And probably re-listening 2 episodes at this point, but good stuff. Just let them know what you want. I mean, not what you want, but what you think about the conversations. And we'll mail your fucking giveaway to you.
Wherever
you are.
Wherever. Like, we won't even charge you for shipping to all those points. Not only will we buy the damn thing, we'll ship it to you for free. There's no cost on your part.
You'll get a cool sticker.
Yeah, cool sticker.
Weatherproof. It's nice.
Dope.
But fucking Hanebado?
Hanebado. Yes, so Hanebado is the 28th production of a manga that was written by Kosuke Hamada. And it's an anime that was put on by Light Films. I was trying to look them up last week. They don't have like any productions that I've recognized.
The studio?
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that, which is weird because Hanebado,
great animation.
Being a badminton sport, I don't know how familiar you're with badminton, but it's not a sport that I would think is like, whoa. You're blowing my mind right now.
Like, obviously, every sport, especially every internationally recognized sport, like, it's hard. Like, I get it. There's probably no way I could fucking do it. But, like, I've never thought about I've never thought about badminton that way. And badminton, if our audience that isn't familiar with the phrasing, it's kind of like tennis, except they use a shuttlecock.
Yes.
It's like it's like
a cork tip like this feathery half a ball.
Yeah, just imagine half a cork with like 12 feathers sticking out of it. So it's like volleyball. It reminded me of haiku because there's spikes and stuff. But the thing about the shuttlecock, the birdie as a whole, like it's meant to catch air resistance and like float down. Because like volleyball, if it were a one-on-one sport, that shit would be impossible, right? And badminton is at most a 2v2 sport.
Yes.
Like, and the target's a lot smaller.
Court size.
There has to be something that like makes the game actually playable on defense, which is why it catches air resistance like that. I'm guessing.
Correct. Yeah, because the badminton has this like when at the point that you hit it, it goes fast, but then it just kind of like drags a little, and that gives the opponent or your opponent like more time to
defend.
To defend, which totally makes sense because this target it's like like half of your hand probably.
Less.
Yeah, less. And the animation here, dude, I think is my favorite part about this anime because you made a great point earlier today about how Baki uses an animation zoom in frame to put you into those MMA moves, or those fighting moves, and Hanebado does the same thing here.
If you've never seen Baki, it's a kung fu anime, I guess.
It's
like
a
fighting
MMA.
anime.
It's an MMA.
Kind of.
It's just like weird ass fighting. Like
it's like MMA, but a lot of gore. Like, which MMA is also gore. But like, okay, so the most recent UFC series was this past weekend, right? You're watching it being directed on a frame that's as big as like at least half the ring, right? Baki will show you an MMA move of somebody getting his teeth knocked out, but like it's just his fucking jaw, right? So you're watching teeth fly out, you're watching blood, like somebody's fist go into a cheek. That's how Hanebado looks. Because if Hanebado is showing a badminton player under duress, the camera's right in their fucking face. But that might not be so that's a good directing decision. And that might be how the manga's directed. So maybe that's why they did it that way. But probably the coolest thing about the anime that's original to the anime is the animation style. So I've been bitching nonstop about Attack on Titan. The part finale of the season finale, the part 2 season finale of the final season of Attack on Titan before part 3 of the final season comes out was like 2 weeks ago, right? And I've been bitching nonstop about like the Mappa Attack on Titan animation that they always do the Titans in CGI. in 3D over 2D like frames, over a 2D scene that looks really fucking ugly. Like if you're looking at the Colossal Titan, in what, like if the scene looks almost like water, like old school Victorian era colors, like these browns and beiges that that look like watercolor. There's this big fucking ugly CGI Titan in my face. Shiny. The lighting's wrong. It's just goofy looking. It walks with the validity of a fucking Lego video game character, right? That shit's not scary. That's whack. Hanebado fixes that by saving money on animation, where the most expensive animation you could do is 2D on 2D, right? The model's in 2D, the background's in 2D. That's expensive as fuck in 2022.
Not a lot of manpower.
Yeah, a lot of manpower, which is like something we're trying to cut down on because people are dying. So
toy animation.
So Hanebado does that by having all 3D foreground, 3D backgrounds, but the models are in 2D. And that shit looks crazy. The character model pops.
Dude, even the shuttlecock, bro. Even the shuttlecock.
In just 2D, I don't know how they fucking made that. Just seeing this thing 2D.
Like... And the sound that the
oh, it's good sound direction, yeah.
The sound direction that this shit takes is really good because those hits on that shuttlecock, and I just want to say shuttlecock again, it's so satisfying. It sounds hollow, like
yeah. Now that you're bringing up sound direction, I think that shit's tight because like
it sounds crazy.
The first time I ever saw a tennis match was like at the height of Serena Williams' career,
and that has a different sound too.
Well, have you ever heard Serena's like serves or her hits though? She is yelling, "Boom! Yeah, boom!" But like you hear that in the sound direction in Hanebado. Like not only is it like that real like shuttlecock bending the net kind of bending pop that you're trying to describe, but you hear the hits. So not only is the animation frame like right on this girl's face, but you hear her just like boom, like that sounds cool. It sounds really, really dope. It feels like you're in the scene.
Which brings me to fan service. The fan service takes you by surprise. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't see it. What fan service?
Drew and his almighty ethical mind did not see any.
I didn't see any fan service, bro.
Any fan service.
Honestly, the one of our not full, we'll call them a soft sponsor, TCG Battleground over at the Zeraplex over on the east side El Paso. The owner is Jacob Unwells, who we've had on 2 episodes now. And we keep giving Jacob a lot of shit because he has a very specific type of anime that he likes with a very specific like kind of fan service, right? Believe it or not, Hanebado with said fan service that Aldo's trying to describe that I don't see was a Jacob Unwells suggestion. So Aldo voices concerns to me about there being too much fan service. So
I didn't say it was too much.
It was the right amount of fan service for Aldo.
The right amount of fan service, yeah.
So after I noticed that, I went straight to Jacob at TCG Battleground, and I was like, "Motherfucker! Like again? Like this is totally a you kind of anime." And like it's cool because his wife was there, Bree was there, and she was just and she defends it. She's like, "Well, all anime have some fan service, and we think Hanebado's cool." And I was like, y'all belong together.
Well,
y'all belong together.
And if you think about it, if we talk about Haikyuu, we don't really see any fan service.
If anything, it's almost like audience direction, where the audience is directed to think that like the female manager's hot because the characters tell you she's hot.
Yeah, like they're just like, oh, she's so cute.
Yeah.
But that's all the premise we have to her fan service.
But Hanebado starts, and it's like a different type of fan service almost. It's like a fan service about liking muscular women.
Well, what I was gonna say to my point to the animation is that these girls, I guess, it's gonna be a lot easier if you draw something skin tight, than to draw something with like actual like moving hair and moving like skirts and moving, like whatever. They put these girls like on super tight outfits.
I looked it up. That's the real thing. So it's like a leotard. It's like a.
No, that is the real thing. But what I'm saying it it is much easier to draw to the point of like the animation being really good while.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, but go ahead. You were gonna make a great point.
Not really. I was gonna say, as opposed to something like, again, the tennis analogy, where like they're wearing like whole outfits, like skirts and stuff. Because the thing about Hanebado is if I'm following the official Olympia like bodybuilding account like on Instagram, like those girls are muscular. Like those girls could beat the shit out of me. Those girls could beat the shit out of me. You know what I mean? And like that's what it's like when Hanebado starts, because we have this one like gargantuan. Well, gargantuan's a bad word. We have this Amazoness character, Nagisa, and we start watching the anime through her perspective. So if the first 2 minutes is the kind of thing that we talk about, which is, it's not a gripe, but it's just like an interesting thing we notice, where the animators kind of like flex their animation prowess for a second. So it's a lot of free form, highly detailed, in motion body movement, right? It's clearly something that like each microframe had like a lot of manpower put into it, but it looks so excellent in motion. But it's obviously not always like that. Hanebado tries to show that off in the very beginning. Like, look at what we can do in our peak animation form.
Yeah, and it might sound corny, but it just reminds you of like how people like did like human sculptures on marble.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Anime is human figures on marble,
and
we're coming for you, Michelangelo.
And when he's gay, we might not be.
Michelangelo?
Yeah, Michelangelo is gay.
He might come for us. I don't know.
Hey,
yo.
Yeah. Well, you've heard that whole ripe about like what we know about the Michelangelo Jesus is that it was based on his lover.
Yeah. There's no way Jesus was white.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
There's absolutely zero chance.
But like what I was trying to get at is that this skin tight fan service that we get throughout this whole show is very well animated when you're in a short court, because again, like you described, it's in a shorter court than tennis is. So they're just short stopping all the time, which is really bad for your knees.
Oh god. And that's cool because the situation we're describing where the directing style is so in your face, because the shuttlecock is moving so quickly from each side of the net. The directing style is also having to animate both sides of the 2D model, because that's the cool part about cheating a 3D model over a 2D space, is that you have the whole 3D model, you have both sides of the model, right? But Hanebado, the model being in 2D, you know somebody's really there animating both sides,
bleeding out the hands
in motion. So that's how they were able to save time on that, by doing the background, the foreground, this video game circular style foreground, but the models being 2D.
And I wanted to make this point that Hanebado is 12 episodes, and Nagase, you were telling me that that's your favorite character.
Yeah.
You know, but what at least for listeners, for people that haven't watched Hanebado, this is a proving yourself kind of story, which is weird because also. We talked about the title, Hanebado. It's through it's a play on words with our protagonist,
Hanesaki,
bad as in badminton, but also because I also said that it was like a villain origin story almost.
Right. So her name is Hanesaki Ayano.
Like the Joker to the Batman, which Nagisa is.
Right. So, and like it starts off the opposite in the beginning, because Nagisa is the taller, like closer to 5'10", like really strong, muscular character. And the anime starts, episode 1 starts, the first 5 minutes is watching Nagisa lose a game of badminton and some type of national championship against somebody that looks like some little dorky, nerdy emo girl. Like long black hair. Vibes. Yeah, just long black hair over her eyes and just like deadpan eyeballs just looking at you. I was telling you, it reminds me of like a sniper scope almost. That's how like her eyeballs look. Like she's just so wide-eyed and focused and about it. It reminds me when I was an undergrad, when I'm showing up to an organic chemistry final at like 8 a.m., seeing some of the people walking there off study drugs, whatever the fuck they're doing. Just
Study
wide-eyed,
drug.
just like, okay, let's go in there, let's do this. That's how Ayano looks when she's playing badminton.
I mean, chemistry is a lot of detailed work, so can't blame them.
Insane.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Were you gonna say something?
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, Nagisa is your favorite character because
Why?
I don't know.
I think Nagisa's my favorite because I appreciate her character model. I think they put a lot of detail when animating her.
And also her story of trying to prove herself because she's a third year.
Oh yeah, that was
absolutely
the reason.
Right. That was one of the points.
That was the reason because if our main story here is about Ayano and her best friend Arena in their first year of high school, they're joining said badminton club where Nagisa is, and Nagisa's a bitch. But the reason why Nagisa is such a hard ass is because she lost last year to a middle schooler who was Ayano. So, and also some background on that match is like they go back to, each girl goes back to their respective locker after Ayano completely obliterates Nagisa. And Nagisa's throwing her racket, being like, why am I doing this stupid game? And she's so aggressive and pissed. But on the other side of the spectrum is Ayano, like silently, like depressed, focused, opening up her locker. And there's a picture of like two women kissing. And she stares at it and she's like, I really have no motivation to do badminton. Why am I doing this? So we know there's going to be some spice there.
And it's a recurring theme of the anime.
Spice?
No, the question, why am I playing badminton?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Because as opposed to something like Haiku, where the characters never question the motivation, which is a common thing in anime. Questioning somebody's motivation is like half of Naruto.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying?
Why do I do this?
Yeah. You're just like, talk no jutsu. Why are you doing this, bro? Don't you know that's the bad thing to do? You should be on our side because we're the good guys. Like, Haiku never questions the character's motivation. Everyone just wants to be great at volleyball for the sake of being great at volleyball. Hanebado, half the girls have no idea what their motivation to do badminton is. And that's half the anime is not even like conversations amongst the characters being like, hey, I don't know why I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. It's self-retrospective conversations being like, why am I doing this? I'm such a piece of shit. Like...
But like the way they go about it, it's like, I mean, if you play badminton, it's because you like badminton, you know, unless you are Ayano or Nagisa, which takes the metaphorical of the question, why am I playing badminton for? Is like, why do I keep doing what I'm doing as like life, almost, you know, and it feels cool, don't get me wrong, because it's anime. It's an anime thing. It's anime magic that we're watching. Yeah. But then again, the other characters are almost... Well, not almost. Super forgettable to me.
I think I liked almost every single female character model. Like, I think the character modeling stands out to me more than, like, the characters or the motivations half the time, which I'm, like, gonna agree with you. I can't remember what any of the dudes are about. I can't remember what any of the guys' names were. Super forgettable. And the thing about Hanebado as a whole is, like, I almost feel like I don't even want to describe it, like, episode to episode.
I don't either. But go ahead.
Okay, so basically, that picture that Ayano was looking at in her locker... after completely beating the shit out of Nagisa in the Junior National Championship, whatever the fuck they call it, is her mom and Ayano's adopted sister kissing in a field in the middle of like Eastern Europe.
Were they kissing?
The cheek, right? The adopted sister's kissing her mom on the cheek.
Yeah.
So, what happened was there's this other pink-haired, ponytailed kind of. She's the analytical type of badminton character. Her name is. Karuko was the best badminton player in Ayano's age group in middle school. Besides Ayano. Like, Ayano's a prodigy because her mom is a 7-time national champion and like a 3-time Olympic medalist, something fucking crazy. So I know what you're talking about. Like, her motivation is just like her mom liked badminton, and she just grew up with this badass badminton player, and that was like half the reason why she did badminton.
And the mom, dog, the mom's a dick.
We have seen a lot of anime about absent fathers and terrible fathers. This is maybe the first instance of like just a dog shit mother character.
First instance, right?
I think so.
Top of my head, the father from Made in Abyss.
Yeah.
He's like top number one, like fuck it. Second would be like
from the movie.
NG, yeah, from the movie.
Yeah,
NGE,
from the Made in Abyss movie.
NGE,
yeah. Oh,
maybe?
yeah. Honestly, I think that's the best example right here. So keep in mind, like
NG kind of
NGE is an end of world like sci-fi fantasy thing, and Hanebado is about badminton. But if you're talking about like levels of being a shitty parent, the mom in Hanebado like might be his equal. Like if you put things into perspective.
Absolutely.
Because Karuko knew she was going to lose to Ayano in the junior national championship. So she had a cold and she knew she was extra going to lose. So there's a whole scene where she hog ties Ayano inside of like a fucking like storage closet and just starts coughing and spitting into her mouth so that Ayano gets sick, loses the national championship. And then her mom, seeing her lose the championship, walks out on her. The last memory of her mom is her being sick with a fever in bed with like one of those like cold towelettes on her head that they always put in anime, and just being like, no, mom, don't leave me, don't walk out the door, and just dips. Dips. Nah, you lost the junior national championship as a 9th grader. Now I have to abandon you.
I don't know, dude.
So then, hold on. That doesn't end that story. She did that so that she could move to Eastern Europe, like Finland or some shit. Pick up some 14-year-old badminton prodigy.
German, obviously.
Adopt her, and like basically like the new adopted daughter has to call her mommy and teaches her badminton, and like it's this weird. It's fan service, but in like a weird way, because it's weird how this new adopted daughter likes to call her mommy and she's really affectionate. And again, like the rest of the anime, when the girls are playing badminton, there's a lot of ass shots. There's a lot of just like
boobs, boob physics.
Yeah, but then like here's
boob
the thing: they will try to like psych you out, being like, it's not real boob fan service because I'm showing you the flex of a shoulder. So it's like, but like I know what you're doing.
What do you mean?
You like I know what you're doing. Like you're trying to taste it up, but I know what you're doing, right?
Yes.
So that's the plot to Hanebado. It's Ayano and her best friend Irina going into their first year of high school, and Ayano is basically a badminton prodigy and doesn't want to play badminton anymore because her mommy abandoned her for catching a cold during the finals match.
Honestly, both the fan service and the abandonment of Ayana's mom took me by surprise.
Yeah.
Because it happened and I didn't realize it had happened because I'm still like, did this bitch just leave?
It like gaslights you.
and like with the fan service too, and the best part for me at least, and honestly I think I'm liking it a lot more than now that I'm talking about it because of the different things, but there is some gripe about it for me. But the animation has to be one of the best things.
Love the anime. I could stare at it all
and
day.
The sound too.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up because again, like they show off the sound direction and the animation style very, very early on. Like literally 4 minutes in.
And
the first 4
so much.
So like the sound design reminds me of like when the first time I ever saw a tennis match and Serena Williams was like just beasting. It was like the peak of Serena Williams, right? Before the injuries. And when like the girls would like hit the ball or serve it was loud. It was this loud ass fucking grunt yell like boom, oh, like
together with the ball hitting the racket.
Right. So like I don't know if I ever told you this, but I got kicked off my tennis team in high school. Like no, I swear to God, like
Doesn't
So
surprise me.
I needed PE credits, right? At Malwood High School here in El Paso. And, like, you need, like, a year and a half of PE credits in Texas to graduate. Mm-hmm. And, like, I didn't want to play any actual sports because I'm a fucking nerd. I don't know if you do this. So I was like, what's the easiest sport I can do? Tennis, right?
Mm-hmm. I just are.
For whatever. No, obviously. Like, that's the thing. I feel like most sports, like, there's no way I could do. Like, literally, I'm even bad at golf, and that's probably what I do most of.
Correct.
Complete ass at golf. But anyways, I got kicked off the tennis team. But I'm bringing this up because there's a sound when, like, a tennis ball hits a racket where, like, the strings are bending against the force, and then it, like, boings it back, kind of. It doesn't sound like a boing, but you know that sound.
There's a slight boing.
There's a slight boing.
There's like a muffed up boing.
Right, thank you. So there's also that sound. There's also that sound in badminton, right? Yeah. So the sound design portion is, like, not only is the camera moving back and forth a lot between these highly detailed 2D models over this 3D net in foreground, but you're hearing that boing of the shuttlecock against the net of the racket. But you're hearing these girls yell at that same time, like, ugh,
or grunt, yeah.
But, like, also, like, the camera's right in their face. So, like, I'm looking at this 5'10" Japanese woman, which is, like, ginormous for a Japanese woman. Like, the camera's right in your face. I'm hearing her yell and the racket sound at the same time. Like, yeah, get in there, go for it. Like, let's go.
And if you notice, like, like I was talking about, like, the tight skin suits that they're wearing, or leotards, which is the thing they use. The muscle movement when they're doing these hits, and not also that, like, most of the girls have short hair or they have it picked up while they're playing, which also helps a lot with animation.
Yeah.
But there's there's like some parts of animation when all this that we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes maybe come together. The sound, the animation, the muscle movements in this thing, and, like, the grunts and everything. And also you'll have, like, these moments when they're short stopping, and you see, like, the sweat, like, fly off.
Like, they
their
stop
hair.
real quick, and then like the physics of the moisture on their face is, like, still moving, and it jumps off. Bomb,
dude!
And you're just like, whoa,
insane.
It's like watching. Anytime Hollywood has produced a film about, like, either mixed martial arts or boxing, it's like that's what makes those cool. Like, what makes the Rocky movies cool, or I'm thinking Creed 2 in particular.
Oh, well, a lot more. You know,
it's because technology's come so far, and that's a big part of it. Like, we have such good cameras now. In Creed 2, like, you feel every fucking punch, bro. That's what. So Hanebado is Creed 2, but badminton in the anime, right?
Yes.
And that's what makes it so cool. Like, I could really watch this all day. Like, if you let me,
I could. And I would, but
it for whatever reason, I guess it wasn't popular because it did get canceled after season 1.
Yeah, 12 episodes. But honestly, I am not surprised.
No,
because the plot here. Okay, so what we're talking about, we have described you like an awesome premise to a character, mom abandoning.
No longer has motivation for her sport.
No longer has motivation for her sport. She's a weird case where she's left-handed. We didn't mention that, but she's a left-handed player.
Left-handed people have, like, the benefit in most sports.
Because we talked about this last episode, if you guys hear about haiku with CJ, is that it's like a left-handed pitcher throwing to a left-handed...
A right-handed batter.
Right-handed batter.
Yeah, so, like, you're having to think on the opposite side, kind of, right? But it's not only that. I think the interesting point about her left-handed bit is that on the shuttlecock, if it's, like, 16 or so little feathers on, like, this little corkscrew, like, they are made in a corkscrew fashion. Like, they're overlaid over one another going clockwise. So if you're left-handed, you can hit it counterclockwise, which makes it spin, which is, like, an extra advantage that the average right-handed player wouldn't have, because you can give it a curveball that most people can't give it. And I thought that was cool. But, like, that's only brought up for, like, a second.
One episode.
Like, yeah, in, like, the second to last episode. And I'm just like, that should have been brought up a lot more.
And again, to the Two, if not what we're describing to you is this great premise to a character, also that like the question comes of why am I playing badminton if my mom abandoned me, you know? And then on the other hand, we have Nagisa, who is so distraught by this loss. And not only this, we see like a parallel with what is the guy that sets the volleyball in haiku.
Kageyama, yeah, from Haiku.
So we start seeing like this, like she's the captain of the team, and now we see that Nagisa is. She's a third year, and she just lost to this middle schooler who now is a first year in this high school.
Yeah,
and she's captain of the team, and we see this whole like, oh, why are you not better? Why are you not better? And she's just serving.
She's actively
They call him a smash.
Oh yeah. They don't call it spikes. I kept calling it spikes like in Haiku. It's a smash. It's a badminton smash. But she's actively abusive towards her teammates. So as a team captain and the best player on the team, you would think that she's helping other people get good, right? She's helping. Like in Haiku, there's whole episodes of them practicing their fucking receives, right? And they're kind of doing the same kind of exercises, but badminton. But Nagisa's actively aiming for the weak spots or aiming at their face because she knows her teammates aren't actually sometimes good. Yeah. So, and the thing about Nagisa is they describe her as being really, really big for a Japanese woman. And that's really fucking mean.
And like one of the things that I found corny about her character was that she was like, they only think I'm good because I'm tall, but I actually practice every day.
I'm glad you brought that up because like Ayano and Nagisa have the opposite gifts, kind of. So Nagisa's tall and strong,
powerhouse,
and yeah. She's fucking LeBron James
playing soccer
at 20,
playing soccer goal.
Kind of, but I'm just talking about like when when LeBron was with the Miami Heat and could like really dunk and power stuff in, like you couldn't block him. Like you, like it was an unblockable play if
huge dude coming at you.
Yeah. Like I'm not blocking that. What are you talking about? That's Nagisa, right? Ayano is Kyrie Irving in this bitch. She's the ball handler. She's highly technical. She has a quick tempo. She has a fast reaction speed. She's left-handed. Her eyes are like a fucking eagle. You know what I mean? Like she can see anything, anywhere, at any pace.
But also, a la your Lion April male protagonist, when he's just so robotic at it.
Right? Yeah. Wow, I miss your Lion April so much. So the main I don't remember his name, but the kid in your Lion April was a piano prodigy who like lost the ability to actually.
That's another instance of about mom. Anything, your Lion April mom was a bitch.
That might have been the only other time we've ever talked about a bad mom. Because in your Lion April, his mom was a piano prodigy that beat the shit out of him anytime he couldn't play piano perfectly. So he grew up not being able to actually play in any type of flair or give it his own pizzazz because he played the sheet music verbatim. And he became so robotic, he lost the ability to play piano because you need to be able to flow between the notes. You need to be able to like plug pieces of music together. But he's just just playing what's on the page so stiffly and robotically. That's Ayano. Ayano has this amazing defense that nobody can get across, which is why Nagisa had such a terrible time against her because her smashes couldn't get through. Because Ayano's whole thing is her mom would make her practice 10, 12 hours all fucking day without a break, just catching like defensive plays, just catching smashes and serves.
And not like Jackson 5 style, where they just make you
But
practice,
it's like the Jackson 5, yeah. But it's like the Jackson 5.
She was getting the Jackson 5 special, but not with a hitting. Like, it was just like, maybe even just manipulating a kid. Just like the dad in
she
like,
gaslit
Made
a
in
kid.
Abyss. Yeah.
She gaslit a kid being like,
don't you want me to love you?
If you were a much better badminton player,
I would love you more.
I would love you so much if you were good at badminton. Yeah. That's gaslighting. Yeah. Holy fuck. Yeah. Wow. Holy fuck.
Total bitches.
Terrible. That's the same thing in your Lion April. Where he's like, do you want to disappoint mommy? Nah. Don't you want to be practicing the piano? Why do you want to upset mommy like that? Yeah.
But she does get the whip out on him though.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I don't. Would you rather get like beat with the belt for not playing piano well,
or
would you, or would
with
you
a
rather,
belt?
or would you rather your mom abandon you to a whole different country because you got a cold?
I don't know, bro.
Do you see my point? Like
You're right
there. Those are both pretty dog shit like options to have.
Okay, but what were we saying? What was my point?
So Ayano does not want to play badminton, right?
Correct.
Like her best friend Irina is, she's a 10th grader. She might as well be like, hey, let's join the tennis club because there's hot guys. Cool. I understand that motivation. So Ayano, who has, it's brought up a lot that she has no like sexual interest in anybody ever. It's brought up a lot. She brings it up like every other episode, and the only person she feels affection towards is Irina, right? So like Irina's motivation is these boys. I know can literally be like, I don't care about these boys. I just want to hang out with my best friend.
I'm just glad I'm here with you.
Yeah. So the big introduction with her and the badminton team is she's on the tennis court. Somebody completely botches like a really high-powered tennis serve, and it's gonna hit Irina in the face and it's gonna fuck her up. But Aino has such quick reflexes that with her left hand, she reaches her arm out and knocks the ball back. Does like a defensive catch. So the new badminton coach who's watching the tennis players grabs her by the hand and starts like being like, oh my god, you're the most talented.
Looting her left hand?
Yes, like looting her left. Thank you. That's like the perfect way to put it. She's like, oh my god, your left hand. That's so hot that you're left-handed. And Irina starts like slapping in the face, being like, get away, you fucking pervert. There's a lot of like pervert jokes with this guy, and they're all coming from like 16-year-old girls.
Well, the other thing that caught me by surprise was like the full-on assault of Kurano to fucking Ayano when she got her sick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that felt really weird watching.
Kuroku,
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's weird. It's
Because you're tight. And this is COVID times, bro. Like, maybe you asked me 5 years ago, maybe like, oh wow, that was fucked up. But like now, you tie someone else like old timey villainy style where he puts you on top of the like in front of like the train fucking rails.
tracks. Yeah,
the train tracks, and like starts coughing on your face, and it looks very crazy. I don't know.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And that whole game, like, it's not even about the loss. It's just about her mom abandoning her, and that's why she doesn't want to play badminton anymore. She's like, I'm so embarrassing, mom left me. Which is a terrible position to be in as a child, right?
Yeah, some insecurities might be.
There might be some PTSD there.
Yeah.
So the next few episodes, like the first third of the anime, is it to Aldo's point. Like when you first came in, you weren't that excited about it, right?
No.
Because like there's a pacing issue. There's a real pacing issue, especially in like the first third of the anime. They show you so much in the first 10 minutes, which is their final match. Nagisa and Ayano's, and until like episode 5-4 you don't really see any action.
And that's what I was trying to tell the listeners and the viewers, that we have described to you like perfect, like really good premises to Ayano and Nagisa, you know, and we don't hear about any of that until later on. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I would have not cared because I didn't up to a point, but since I'm a listener and a content creator, I have to give you my thoughts on this.
Yeah.
That one thing we were talking off mic and then on mic and then off mic and then on mic now once while I tell you this is that it didn't have that cool thing about Haikyuu that teaches you volleyball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's just assumed you know what the fuck is going on. It's assumed you know that a badminton set is 21 as opposed to I just watched Haiku where it was like what 24, 25. I didn't know that. It's some of the tournament games were best of 1 as opposed to best of 3. I didn't know that. There's just a lot that it didn't tell you, and like I feel like I really missed out because Haiku gets you involved because it wants you to call the play. And Hanebado never does that.
And this is our first time watching this.
Yeah.
The premise, I'm sorry for the, oh damn, that was bad. The premise puts you into thinking that we're gonna see like a almost like a monster beatdown.
Yeah, like a character of the week. Who's the big badminton player there
yeah.
this week that we have to beat? Absolutely.
Correct, and it's not even about that either.
No,
like it throws you another curve because if we know the Kurano, which was a girl that got Ayano sick, she comes back to that same high school to join the team.
Yeah.
But then she leaves, and then they play again against each other?
So, she is at a different school, but she learns that that Ayano's playing badminton again. And even though she cheated in their last outing, she still is a really prideful, like, badminton player. Mm. So she shows up to Ayano's school to kind of get a real game out of her, like, on level ground. But Ayano is also so out of practice and so much, like, just doesn't give a shit. Ayano loses anyways, but that's still not a satisfying conclusion to her biggest rival kind of attitude that she has. And, like, talk about character modeling, I like her character model, like, a lot. Like, she, like, again, like, every character model stands out because you can see the outline so much over the 3D background. Like, she's tall with, like, these really long pink ponytails, and she always has this little helper behind her, and she wears, like, a fucking badminton skirt and has her big ass bag with her, and she's like, who's trying to get some, bitch?
Like, she's like evil villainy looking on her, like, character design, like, as far as her face.
Karuko, right?
Yeah, Karuko. And she reminds me of the girl from the gambling anime.
Yes. Fuck, I can't remember the name for either of those right now.
Even her character as how she acts reminds me a lot of that main girl.
Like, really analytical, winner takes all kind of thing. Honestly, there's a character like that in Free. Take this as, like, a little pre-discussion to our Free discussion in a couple episodes from now after episode 90.5. Kakaguri, yeah. So, like both of these other characters, there's a character in Free that is very, very, very analytical to the point that, like, he's originally not even part of the swim club. He's part of the track team, and he's doing pole vault. And he's running, like, calculations in his head before he pole vaults. That's kind of how this girl is right here, because Ayano is the all-around defensive player. Like, she can block anything at any time. Nagisa is just smashes on smashes and smashes because she's so much taller and stronger than everybody. Kuruko is somebody that will plan, like, 3 steps ahead to set you up. She'll set herself up unintentionally with your plays. I'm going to send to the back court so that she can send to the front court so that I can smash in front of her defense, kind of thing. And so she had to cheat Ayano because Ayano is so physically gifted that she could have blocked anything. And she, like, the game plan would not have mattered because she's so much better physically than Karuko. Excuse me.
Karuko, yeah, and
so what you're describing out, like, she goes and comes and goes and comes. She goes, wins that game, and then she's just like, "You're not at your full potential, so that wasn't a real game. I will beat you at the badminton regionals, at the regionals."
And then we get a little bit of that, and then we don't get any of that until, like, later on.
Yeah, like halfway through.
Because then we start talking about, like, the coach for a little bit. We start talking about you for a little bit. We start talking about the Elena for a little bit and how she can with I don't know. So we don't at one point.
Yeah, it's because it kind of feels like one of those that needed more time, maybe because, like,
I just think that, like, the curveball here of why I didn't get it until, like, the very last episode, because that's when it tells you what's going on. The last 2 episodes is that Nagisa being in the same team, you don't think of them being a rivalry against each other.
The only way you would ever pick that up is from the intro song.
Correct.
Because the intro song does set them up to be a rivalry.
I like the little song.
I do too. I like it a lot. But, like, like, Haiku is cool because it'll have 4 or 5 games, 4 or 5 episodes that are one game, right? And, like, in between, like, in the middle of those games and after those games, you'll get a whole episode about a certain character's motivational backstory, right? Hanebado kind of wants to do that, but it's only 13 episodes, so it can't. So it tries to give you like half episodes here and there about people's backstories, and it feels so rushed and out of place. It like breaks your brain kind of, because there's certain episodes in like the middle of the season where this like stepsister, adopted sister of Ayano, the girl that
Connie.
is in Connie, who the blonde girl who's in the picture in the beginning of episode 1 in Ayano's locker, that's kissing her mom in some Eastern European field, is this girl Connie, who's the girl that Ayano's mom left Japan for to go adopt a badminton prodigy to replace Ayano because she was disappointed with Ayano's production. So there's a whole narrative about Connie moving to Japan to find her adopted mother's original daughter so that she can befriend her, make a family, and they can all go back to Europe together to play badminton. And
it gets lost.
It's super out of place. It feels super weird. It's super obsessive. Because
at one point Connie is like, you can't be her real daughter. You suck.
But she calls her mama, so it's even more like
in a German accent, yeah.
Yeah, but that's right. It's so fetishy. It's so patronizing. It's so like,
by the
weird.
Way, the voice acting here, terrible. They do not take it. They do not take it. They do not take it to like 100.
But it's also like almost like Toonami anime dialogue. Mm-hmm. It's like you blocked my slice, so now I have to block your curve. Mm. How dare you abandon me?
How did she do that? How did she get there so fast?
Yeah. It's super anime dialogue-y.
And I hate it.
It's bad. Because Haiku's corny. Don't get me wrong. But it knows it's corny. It knows it's corny. Yeah. Like, Hanebado really wants to give you some fucking Voltron dialogue.
Yeah, Voltron dialogue, yeah. Because most of, like, from episode 2 to maybe 7, it's all filler almost.
Yeah.
Because by the time you finish watching, as a first time viewer, you don't notice it. You think you're in this Code Geass loop of trying to like pick out what the plot is, but it doesn't give you any of that.
Why you always got shit on Code Geass?
Because it is what it is. I'm not even trying to shit on it. I'm just saying to refer to that. It just keeps jumping like plot points until we funnel into what obviously the anime plot was, which was
the regional tournament or
Nagisa,
whatever.
Yeah. Nagisa
and not Ayano. So it's about Nagisa's journey to winning like her final year fucking regional championship. And we just spent like what I was talking about 7-8 episodes talking about Ayano's backstory and how she's got mommy issues.
And Connie too, and that premise is kind of important because one of the games it is against Connie, and again the animation here, the sound direction, the 3D on top, the 2D on top of 3D modeling, it is so good because this game's you're watching it as a first time viewer and it looks really good.
I think the annoying part, because if the point of this anime we're talking about is a villain origin story, which is Ayano, she becomes the main villain. Like, her villain switch flip is so quick, it's annoying. Because so she wins like 3 rounds in a row, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're gonna play Kuroko. We're gonna play Kuroko, and Kuroko's talking shit. There is probably one of the best scenes is on a stairwell outside of like the little regional championship, where Kuroko's like, oh, I got you a tissue so that when you cry after I beat you, I can beat your ass. And she just lets it, and Ayano just lets it fall to the ground and comes up with her fucking demon eyes and it's just like, I don't need it, because I'm going to beat your ass into the ground. And, like, just something super corny, but, like, evil at the same time. Like, I'm going to fucking assault the shit out of you.
And the games are ridiculous, man. Because if we talked about how I, quote-unquote, spoiled Berserk from you.
But you did.
That I told you something and you were expecting it.
Before I started watching Berserk, you told me something that happens in the last 10 minutes.
And you're anticipating it the whole time because there's like
it's a terrible watching experience.
Yeah. So not only that Nigasa has like bad knees and stuff like that, or
because she's tall. She's tall. It's like basketball. Yeah.
When you see these players play, like we see one of them where Karuno, or no, Connie gets a cramp, and you see like the we were talking about gore videos earlier.
Yeah. So I've been having this weird obsession lately where like on TikTok I'll be watching videos of people tearing their bicep, and that's like when the head of your bicep like breaks from your forearm and is in your shoulder. Or I was obsessed with this Reddit video for a little bit of somebody squatting way too much weight, and
his anus came out.
His knees go straight like perpendicular to the ground, and it's so
you mean that one,
it's so fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it's like, because as we were describing in the beginning, like Hanebado has this very tight directing frame that it likes to direct from, like on somebody's knee, on somebody's ankle, that you feel like, especially in badminton where it's just going like side to side like so quickly, you feel that strain on their knee, and that's what it's trying to get across.
And Anayo at this point is having her like spiral down to like villainous activity.
Well, it's also because of her adopted sister. So like Aino tried her best to just forget her mom existed. But then like her adopted sister Connie comes into the picture and be like, I want you to be my best friend so that me and mama and you can go back to the country and we can play badminton together. Yeah.
The reason my mom left me.
Yeah. And this is her fucking Batman. Like, this is Aino's Batman origin story. She's like, fuck you.
And the games, if in terms of Hanebado, if the games against like these supporting characters are the fight scenes of an anime,
right.
it always ends up, okay, I know you're winning, but like it also, since it sets, you'll see a lose and then a win and then a lose and then a win, and then it gets you like hyped up for it. But it happens so quickly because again, this is 12 episodes.
Because the thing about something like Haiku is it almost shows you like every volley, which is why like you spend like so many episodes on one game, because you have a real understanding of how the game's going. Hanebado doesn't do that. Like it skips most of it. Like it'll show you the first like 3 volleys and be like, oh, Ayano's really beating Kuruko right now, and then it'll just skip that whole set, and it's just like 21-8 Ayano, and you're just like, okay, I guess Ayano was kicking ass. Yeah, I guess like,
and if that's gonna be Anayo's, her motivations start to change, because at the beginning she's content with forgetting her mom. She's already past it. She's just trying to go to school.
Connie brought her back.
But then exactly. But then all these things start coming back to her, and then her flipped into, not only do I not care about my mom, I'm also gonna win this shit to prove her that I'm better.
It's the Kuruko match.
Yeah.
It is the Kuruko match, because like if Karuko's the girl who like tied her up and gave her the cold that made her win and made her lose the national championship and made her mom abandon her, like she needs to embarrass Karuko. So the scene I was describing in the stairwell, Karuko's like, here, take this tissue. And Ayano's just like, I don't need it because I'm going to beat the shit out of you. That scares the shit out of Karuko, to the point that Karuko can't even play their match correctly, which is a huge disappointment from like a watching perspective, you know, because imagine, you brought up Baki earlier, imagine Haiku, all those. If somebody was talking shit to any of these characters in Haiku or Baki, they'd come back a millionfold, being like, you came back, you came at me at 95%, I have to beat your ass at 150% because you disrespected me like that. Karuko is a bad villain because she folds immediately. She's like, this is the real Ayano. I can't ever beat her.
And that's what I'm saying again, to the flip of Anayo, that like here we see that she embarrassed her.
Yeah, bad.
You know what I'm saying? Like she embarrassed her. And
because for somebody that's supposed to be like an intellectual player, like they've been telling us that Karuko is,
correct.
For somebody that's all instinct to just beat the shit out of her, that's bad.
Correct. And we see Deadeye fucking Anayo across the net, just just being evil, being like Walter White kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then again, the story, as I'm watching it, I'm like, whoa, wow, this is fucking crazy. But then we also are following Nagase, who the whole time in the background is being hating on Anayo because Anayo is the little girl that beat her.
Right. So Nagisa feels bad for herself because she's like physically gifted, but not like mentally gifted. Like you can't teach instinct, right? But the idea is that with enough practice, maybe you could surpass it. That's Nagisa's whole dilemma. Is that like I'm so much more physically like gifted and like bigger and stronger and faster and able, but I don't just have it. I don't have that fucking Kobe Bryant mentality that I can that I can just fucking I don't have that Mamba mentality I can just turn off and on. I can't jump like Jordan kind of thing. Like and that's where we spend like the second half of the anime from episode like 8 onwards, where it's just like Nagisa trying her best. We get a whole episode about one of her middle school friends that won a scholarship to a high school that Nagisa probably should have gotten into, but she didn't because she was deemed uncoachable compared to her more coachable, less talented friend. And this whole game, it's like the plot to Free. It's called Free because he only swims freestyle because he's a free spirit.
Sounds like anime.
It sounds like anime. So, but that's where Nagisa's coming from, right? Where she's like, I can't be coached. I can't play by a playbook. I need to do this at my own pace, my own way. And that's like this big match with her middle school friend. Is the coaches in the background being annoying as fuck, being like, position D, form 7, like, do E9 now, go, like just over coaching to the point that's flat out annoying.
It is, and he lets you know, which is really good.
It feels annoying from the audience, but then it feels annoying that like the anime tells you this should feel annoying. This, like, the audience members are like, this is annoying. I was annoyed. Now I'm more annoyed that like the audience is telling me I should be annoyed.
Yeah,
I didn't need you to set that up for me.
Yeah.
So. That's I like this episode a lot because the end resolution is just like the opposing player or her middle school friend is just like I'm not going to listen to my coach anymore. I'm playing badminton for the sake of like having fun. Yeah. And that's Nagisa's whole like rise to the finals. It's just like she is learning the love to badminton again because she was being so abusive to her teammates because she was trying to get into the technicality of it because she couldn't beat a highly technical player like Ayano. And Ayano is completely like abusing players more talented than her because she's such a technical specimen.
And I feel like Nagase's dialogue pieces during that game with her
middle school friend.
Is that there's a piece of dialogue like super animated where all these like cool sounds and like all this heavy breathing is happening and she's like, hey girl, I'm trying my best here, I'm like, just keep it up, blah blah blah, and they start having fun. It's just like a montage of them like,
oh, this is why I love the game of badminton.
Yeah, but Nagase ends up winning, which we
didn't even bring it up, but like the third most like brought up character whose games we see is Nagisa's best friend Riko, who again it's the same
point that we're not following,
but like it's because it's the same like trajectory that Nagisa has, except Nagisa is better because Riko is just like, my best friend is Nagisa and she's tall and strong and like can spike the shit out of the shuttlecock. But I'm not any of those things, and I'm also not as quick and smart as Ayano. So I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try to make it past round 1, even though I'm my 3rd year, and this is my last chance doing this. But then she scrubs out, and we're just like, why'd you do that to me, anime? Like, I could have gotten more Ayano, I could have gotten more Nagisa, except you wasted my time on 2 episodes of this girl that accomplished nothing. It's got real pacing problems, and I feel like as a manga, that makes sense to me because you can really spend, as somebody that reads One Piece, like fuck, you can spend time on some bullshit. You could spend time on just some random fucking backstory that means absolutely nothing.
But it's chapter to chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
So like and you're waiting week to week to read it. So it feels like it's stretched out. Your experience is like stretched out a lot more. As an anime, something like this, like spanning an episode and a half, is just a waste of my fucking time. If I'm being completely honest.
No, because it's you start thinking a lot about this. Like, we have a lot of characters in this anime, which you don't need, because
we brought up 3.
At some point, you talk about the grandparents, you talk about you talk about the coach. At some point, like this whole thing makes you think that it's gonna lead into like a Coach Carter kind of badminton kind of thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
Nope.
And fuck all those players, man. Like, I mean, all those characters. It's not even fuck you, Hanebado, for being good where it counts, but really bad.
The coolest part about writing is there is fairly significant foreshadowing in like episode 2, episode 3, where the coach did qualify for the Olympics, and he was Olympic favored, but he blew out his knee. And that concept becomes one of the main issues when it comes to Nagisa near the end of the anime. Because it's like an NBA player. Like if you're Anthony Davis and you're 6'8" and you're 300 pounds, that much wear and tear on your knees and ankles is.
And then you blow out your ACL.
Yeah, and then you blow out your ACL, and then you're out for 2 seasons, but you're still fucking eating up all of the Lakers' budget. I don't fucking know. But that being a high school player is so much scarier because, like, I watch I almost said a lot, but that's a lie. I watch a couple games of college football during the season here and there, right? And I get really, really sad when college players hurt themselves, especially their knees and ankles, because that's almost like a career-ending thing. Yeah. And that sucks because you don't have a career yet.
Yeah, it's like the story to every abusive father.
I hate that. I hate that so much, bro. Movies. And I get really fucking upset by stuff like, because it's not fair. You know what I mean? Like somebody so gifted, so talented, like blows out their fucking knee their last year of college before they went into the draft, and now they're not worth anything. That sucks. They had
all this scholarship accepted this fucking shit.
That
whatever.
Sucks, bro.
Bow life.
That sucks so fucking bad.
And this is one of my favorite parts from Nagisa too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like her knee being in jeopardy, which again brings me to the point of like the rape scene in Berserk. I was waiting for it. That
was not a good segue. I don't know why you thought that was a good segue.
Well, it's a good segue because as soon as I hear about her bum knee, which is main part of the story, is that I'm expecting it every time because the animation's so good. Yeah. So, and like it starts with like that game against her middle school friend, because the coach was the one calling these plays that was going to make Nagisa move back and forth a lot, doing a lot of defensive plays that was going to do really good wear and tear on her knee. So the idea was not to outplay Nagisa. It was to injure her and then just beat her. Which that's also something I've heard about in like both like NBA playoff games and like in the NFL. Like at that point, it's just a matter of who's not injured right now. And it's funny that you say that is your favorite game, because I think it might be my favorite game too, because there's also this aspect of the opposing coach being like, sweep the leg. Like, we're gonna play a game to blow out her knee. So don't do anything crazy. Listen to me, and we're just gonna play a game to blow out her knee.
Don't spike it. Yeah. Don't
crazy shit.
And that's one of the things. This coach who blew out his knee before he qualified for the Olympics is like, dude, I'm gonna throw in the flag. I'm gonna withdraw you from this tournament because I'm your coach and I'm allowed to do that, and you're a minor because go fuck yourself. Yeah. It's like fucking MMA too, like exactly what you're talking about. Like it's like the shonenness of it being about a sport, because there's always that lingering in the back of your mind where somebody could throw in the towel if you're acting a little too concussed and your coach is trying to save your life. If your knee is totally about to be like career ending and your coach is just like, dude, I'd rather you just lose the championship than never be able to play again. That's a hard... The whole time the coach is playing with this decision, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I can make that. Because imagine if you were that kid and you're like, it hurts, it's uncomfortable, but I can keep going. You're not injured yet, and you're also ignorant because you're a fucking kid, right?
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, if your coach was like, nah, tells the refs like and the staff like, no, he's not gonna play. Like that's it. Imagine how mad you'd be. I'm good, coach. I'm fucking good. What do you mean I'm gonna like forfeit this game?
Mine is good.
Yeah, I'm not fucking forfeiting this game. Like,
Yeah.
but that's the exact story of what's happening right here. And like, if I were Nagisa, and my coach before the final game to the girl I lost last year, who's 4 years younger than me.
Pulled you?
Yeah, pulled me. I'd be pissed.
Yeah,
I'd make up a conspiracy in my head. I'm like, nah, he wanted Ayano to win. That's bullshit. That is straight bullshit. And the coach just like, he doesn't do that. So the whole final game, there's like 3 episodes about the week leading up to the championship, which is also annoying. Also talking about the pacing, because like we went through like 4 rounds of a tournament in like an episode and a half. And then all of a sudden, between round 3 and 4 is like 2-3 episodes, which is exhausting because I'm like, dog, I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't care. But that whole week is just dead-eyed Ayano, who's now the villain, because all of a sudden the switch was flipped when she was playing that pink-haired girl that gave her the cold. Now all of a sudden she's a villain and she's sharking people and trying to like bully people during practice. So she's actively trying to bully Nagisa during practice, being like, "You don't want to play me? You don't want to play me? Why don't you want to play me?" And the coach yeah, you afraid you're gonna lose, pussy? Are you afraid that's what's gonna happen this weekend? And this whole like couple episodes, it's Nagisa being like, "Hey guys, I need to stay off my knee." The coach took me to the hospital, and the doctor said like I'm totally about to blow my shit out. Like
she gets a brace.
I'm not. Yeah, she got a brace. I'm not gonna practice this week. And in the brace, and Nagisa's out of uniform. It's still being like, "You're not gonna play. You're not gonna practice against me, pussy."
I'm not even ready. I mean,
oh my god. Oh my god.
And
I hate it so much.
In comparison to her like mom's personality that we don't know because she abandoned a bit. Like you would think like, ooh, maybe you took a little bit after to see your mom.
But see, that's the thing too, because like while Aina is playing Karuko, her mom's watching in the background and she's like introducing herself to the rest of the badminton team. And the thing about Arena is like, or Arena, is she knows that Ayano's mom abandoned her, right? And the thing about it is like there's kind of never a real resolution when it comes to the mom. It's brought up so much, but there's not a real resolution. Even when it comes to the Connie trying to recruit Ayano to be like actually friendly towards her. And there's just like this plethora of things. Like even Ayano's mom moving back into the grandparents' house and like trying to get close to her daughter. Ayano will actively eat in her room to get away from her mom.
And just like Your Lie in April, there's an instance where they try to humanize the mom by like having conversations with Connie back in Europe, being like, "Oh yeah, I love my daughter. My daughter is so cool." It's like, "Is she better than me, mom?" Well, maybe.
I think it made more sense in Your Lie in April.
It does.
Because in Your Lie in April, the mom dies. So, like, anytime we're seeing, like, flashbacks of the mom beating the shit out of the guy in Your Lie in April, it's also under the backdrop that, like, this woman's dead. Like, she wanted the best for her son before she passed.
And it has this whole redemption like Darth Vader has a redemption.
Right, because we start seeing perspectives through the friends of the mom in Your Lie in April that are like...
She feels sorry at the end.
Yeah, she's like, I just wanted the best for him. I just wanted him to do well. I wanted to give him everything I could before I'm gone.
And I fucked up doing so.
The thing about Hanebado, the mom's still around.
Yeah.
Like, there's no repercussions. There's
no cancer in sight.
There's no real excuse for any of this. It makes 0 sense. So the last, like, 3-4 episodes are the actual game between Ayano and Nagisa. And, again, with, like, the directing decisions here, I hate it because it's really clear early on that Nagisa's gonna win. Like, it's episode 10. This bitch has 13 episodes, and I'm like, Nagisa's gonna win. The anime just told me that Nagisa's gonna win.
And it's like the Akame ga Kill almost.
Yeah?
You know? Like, at the end, we're following Anayo, and we're following the plot that has been set through her mom, and we're talking mostly about the mom and Anayo and stuff. Nagasaki is almost in the foreground. But, in the background, I mean. But, when it comes to this match, you instantly get served this new resolution to the story that Hanebado is trying to give you. It tells you
it was always about the rivalry the whole time.
It was about them, both girls coming to peace with what the fuck the question was of like, why am I playing badminton?
Yeah. Which is, they have the same resolution, which it's kind of cool how it matches up, but it's just kind of like, I want to do it for the sake of playing. Yeah, let's go.
But
sports.
They force feed it, like, at the last 2 episodes.
Like, I don't even mind that. You know what I mean?
I don't mind it either.
Like, I don't even mind that reasoning. Just, like, don't make it fucking ass. Because, like, and what makes it obvious that Nagisa's going to win is that we get those 2-3 episodes where Nagisa's injured. She's off her knee. She's trying not to blow it out before, like, the actual game. And so we figured she was going to play defensively, but it's not. It's not only that she's playing defensively, it's that she's not. You used the term earlier. It's not a spike. It's a
smash.
A smash. Like, the issue with Nagisa that even the coach brought up multiple times is, dog, every time there's an opportunity to smash, you smash, and that makes you so predictable. It's almost easy to block, even though a smash is harder to block. Because you know to look out for the haymaker. Yeah. So not only are you exhausting yourself, but like, I know how to defend that. So if you've been watching this anime for 10 episodes, you knew that was going to be the plan, right? To just not do the thing that we've been being told for 10 episodes was the thing not to do. So the episode starts and she's not smashing it. She's just doing straight defensive plays to the point that it again reminds me, oh God, this was the issue I was having last week where I keep trying to relate sports to Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I have this same issue in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes, especially in the regional setting where I was 2 weeks ago when I was in Lubbock. And like, my first loss was not because I was outplayed, not because my opponent was playing like the outs, but because I outplayed myself, kind of, right? Like, I played into a blanketed floodgate effect that restricted me from doing a certain play, even though I knew not to do that. But that's what Aino's doing here. She realizes that Nagisa is playing defensively and is lobbing it and is not going for the hard-hitting, obstructed position and is just going for the safe spot, to the point that she's putting herself out of position and can't get these easy lobs back in. So immediately, the first half of episode 10 that I'm seeing this, I'm like, oh, okay, Nagisa's going to win. That's it. Like, I don't need to watch these other 3 episodes to understand that Nagisa's going to win right now.
But you do, because the animation, they saved it for, like, the end. If we were talking about the animation, how good it was at the beginning, like, this is the last of the budget, guys.
Yeah. And that's, like, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, yes, I love the animation, but it's annoying because you get, like, the first 2 episodes, great animation. Last 3 episodes, great animation. The middle portion, it's a whole lot of nothing. Like, even the games in the middle of the season,
they're nothing.
It's nothing, and that sucks. It sucks so bad.
Fuck. It's because it falls so under a mid anime. It is so mid.
It's above mid. It's like slightly above mid
because of animation.
Yes. So I feel like everything else, I'd give it like a 4.5. Like, dialogue, 4.5. Story, 4, maybe. Character motivation, 4.5. You know, I'm giving everything slightly below average, but then the animation's like a 7. Like like animation, 7.5, 8. Sound direction, 7.5. So that makes me want to give it slightly above average, because it's averaging out, you know what I mean?
But as an experience, it's extremely mid.
It's so mid.
Yeah.
It's so mid. Like, it's
you finished this feeling nothing. Nothing. You're like, oh, I just watched it.
Because the ending resolution is like, oh, we both learned the love for badminton again. I'm so glad that we played this game together. And, like, I'm glad that it wasn't a bad ending, because, like, we still have to deal with the scenario that is Nagisa's bum knee. So I'm glad it ended at least on a happy ending, where it tells you, just like, hey, me and Coach just got back from the hospital. It turns out I just need to stay off my knee for 2 months. Like, it wasn't that bad, everybody. Yeah, thumbs. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. It's corny. It's not good writing. But, like, I hate bad endings. I hate non-happy endings. So much that I will take a really shitty happy ending over, like, a hard-hitting, like, sad ending.
Yeah, like fucking Steve Carell movies.
Yeah, Will Ferrell movies.
Will Ferrell movies have bad endings? Had a good ending.
It's because never mind. You were right the first time. Like a Steve Carell movie. Thank you.
You don't like that whole it's gonna be a bad thing.
Yeah, it's. I've told you this before, right?
Yeah,
like I literally cannot sit through a Steve Carell movie because I cannot stand 90 minutes of just somebody being just like. Just pity, yeah, just so much pity for a character that I can't sit through it. I hate those types of movies, which is like some God, we were talking about it earlier. That's some Grinch movies. What's his name?
Jim Carrey.
It's some Jim Carrey movies. Mm-hmm. That's the plot to Bruce Almighty. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
Somebody becomes God, but gets shit on so much that it's hard to like watch it pan out. Mm-hmm. That's the plot to Bruce Almighty.
Yeah. Yeah, he learns about himself.
I can't stand those movies. I can't stand those anime. But Hanebado, I honestly gave some accidental misinformation to Aldo the whole week. So I went through the Crunchyroll catalog and it listed season 2 and 12 episodes,
but
right?
Is the dub and the sub.
But like normally with Crunchyroll, it will put season 1 English dubs or just season 1. Uh-huh. In Crunchyroll, it actually says season 2. So I'm like, so I didn't even go through the episodes, and I was like, oh shit, Crunchyroll only has season 2. So I went to Funimation, and it lists season 1 dub and sub. And I'm like, hey Aldo, it's only on Funimation. It's two seasons. Season 1's on Funimation. Season 2's on Crunchyroll. Blah 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 blah. It's the same season. It was just
duplicated,
tagged on fucking Crunchyroll, which like again like to bitch, not again, but for the first time to bitch about this Crunchyroll Funimation merger. I've been excited for the entirety that we've been doing this podcast, right? I've been talking about this merger. They are fucking up, kind of.
They have yet to done anything. Right,
because Funimation is actively advertising to cancel your Funimation subscription because everything's already been transferred to Crunchyroll. The issue I'm seeing is it looks like some contracts and some usage and streaming contracts were Funimation exclusive that didn't actually transfer over to Crunchyroll. Mm-hmm. And this is the issue we were having with Haiku, where there's no legal way other than the DVDs to watch the Haiku dub because the Funimation contract expired to stream it and Crunchyroll hasn't picked it back up to the point that it's missing. And that sucks. That sucks so bad.
And honestly, dude, I was surprised. I mean, I know Crunchyroll might have more assets than Funimation.
As of now, yeah.
But anybody that uses Crunchyroll, has used Crunchyroll, has a shitty-ass interface.
I think Funimation's is worse. No, so
Funimation is way better.
Funimation's smart app is ass. Crunchyroll's is better. On browser, Funimation's is better. Crunchyroll's is ass. Yeah. So I hear what you mean. Like,
completely agree with you.
That's how you know we really watch these anime, guys. Like, we're really out here bitching about platforms for streaming.
And interfaces, yeah, fucking hated that.
So I was happy that the smart apps are going to stay on Crunchyroll, but I never considered that they didn't re-pick up the usage rights.
Yeah, and they haven't done anything to like fix it or anything like that, and I don't think it's budget issues, because I mean, they are pretty well off.
Because like the big dubs that Crunchyroll has now, were already dubs that Funimation and Crunchyroll were sharing. Attack on Titan dub was simulcast on both Crunchyroll and Funimation. Demon Slayer dub simulcasted on both Crunchyroll and Funimation. My Hero Academia, again, same thing. But then you're starting to see where, like, I think I was looking up Clanad the other day. I think Clanad is missing from Funimation and Crunchyroll. And it sucks. Because it seems obvious that, like, or I hope it's obvious that because now that Crunchyroll has, like, cornered the market, that they'll catch up. But then it sucks because maybe they have less pressure to catch up. Because it's like, where else are you going to go? Verve?
Correct.
And that just sucks. I don't know.
Well, it happened to us with the movie on Made in the Abyss.
Yeah, it's nowhere. You had to rent it.
You have to rent it from Made in the Abyss.
Right, for like $20.
Yeah.
Because like even through Hulu, when you rent a movie, it can be like 24 hours, $3. That happened when we were watching The one about the dreams. The one that's like
Paprika?
Yes, when we watched Paprika, it was that same thing. Where like technically you can't rent it anywhere for free, but it's like $2 through Hulu and Amazon and everywhere else. You know what I mean? And that's what sucks. Like it feels like I didn't want to believe that this happens every merger. This has happened during Warner Brothers. This has happened.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was gonna say I feel like mergers when it happens with like gaming companies like
or media assets
like Sony and stuff like that, or like Xbox, you know, like PlayStation or Xbox. You don't want to announce your merger before you have
the infrastructure to
support it, and it feels like just Crunchyroll and Funimation were one day where you might lose either one of them. We don't know which one yet. And then when the merger happens...
Well, now we know it's going to be Funimation. We're losing Funimation.
Yeah, we're losing Funimation. We're going into Crunchyroll. But then again, like this whole interface thing and like them not really like linking anything together.
You know what it reminds me of? The first time I ever experienced like a disappointment in a media company like this was when BioWare was bought by EA Games.
BioWare, which was now
BioWare produced my favorite video game of all time, which was Mass Effect 2.
Oh yes. But EA Games shits on.
That's what I'm saying. Everything. So like think of 2012 EA Games. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like I absolutely loved Mass Effect for like I love role playing games. I love getting into the character, right? And Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 are excellent at that. I think Mass Effect 2 has such like a wide net of story and decision trees that it makes it worth it. But EA Games buys BioWare. They produce Mass Effect 3 through EA Games, through the BioWare studio apparently. But it's gone from like a storytelling device to like Modern Warfare 3 online, but with aliens, because EA Games in 2012.
And EA Games now, too.
Yeah,
EA Games just sucks.
It's because EA Games has gotten like, at a certain point in, like, 2015, 2016, couldn't get away with that shit anymore. At a certain point, after, like, almost a decade of EA Games was pulling fuck-ass shit, the audience is
FIFA games.
Yeah, just writing on FIFA games and all this other just bullshit, just creating the same game over and over and just making it multiplayer accessible. At a certain point, like all the fan bases just gave up.
And we see that shit like when like in movie seasons, like I'm glad that I talked my girlfriend into not just going to the movies for like the snacks and like the experience of the movie, but like I'm not gonna go watch a shitty movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
honestly, sometimes I do that. I do.
Go watch a shitty movie?
Yeah, for the experience.
I watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which wasn't shitty.
But like you love Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I thought you were gonna love Sonic the Hedgehog 2, if I'm being honest.
I don't love it. It's better. The first one's better, but it was alright. It was almost and like the Sonic, it's not a Jim Carrey movie.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But if you allow me to finish the conversation on Hanebado.
Okay.
If you watch it, I don't know what to tell you. It is so mid.
It's I think you'll enjoy it.
It's not a must watch. If anything, if you come across it, watch it.
I feel like if you I could imagine somebody looking for this type of anime. I could imagine somebody being on Reddit being like, I'm looking for a shonen that is woman-centric and has great animation. I could imagine that post on our anime on Reddit. And if I saw that, this would be it. Which, don't get me wrong, that's a very, like, not very, but that's somebody looking for a specific product, which is what Hanebado is. But I don't see that happening often. Like, I don't see a whole lot of scenarios where Hanebado really is the first name that comes up.
And honestly, I'm not surprised it didn't get a second season.
Yeah. Oh, are you really? I was disappointed. I really was disappointed because
the dialogue for me wasn't enough. I mean, not the dialogue. The dialogue with the plot,
right,
was not their greatest point. And honestly, I'm a movie watcher. I'm an anime enjoyer. You know what I'm saying? I like a plot to give me something, but at the end of the day, when I finished watching Hanebado, I did not feel anything.
I agree with you completely about... For me, I describe it as the pacing of the plot. And that's why I thought it would have a second season. I thought the pacing was so bad that
Maybe there's something more.
Yeah. Like, there really was something else that was going to be indulged on, because what I was watching seemed like such a prelude to something else. And that kind of sucks as a watching experience, because, like, by the time it ends and, like, you realize there's not a second season, it's just like, that really was it. That really was worse than I thought most of the time while watching it. Like, I was excusing it because I thought there was more. And then you realize there's not a season 2, and it's just like, fuck.
Like I said, it didn't surprise me. It's so mid. If you guys come across it, if your friend suggests you guys watch an episode or two, like, here and there, watch the episodes. It's cool, whatever. But
episode 1 and then, like, the last, like, 3.
Yeah, it has a very, very middle empty space.
Yeah. We can't exactly do a nerd down today because
it's on Monday. It's 9:20.
We're recording on a Monday. I've got work tomorrow. Like, but I don't know how we're gonna work it out. I guess we'll keep talking during the week. But we need to get 2 episodes recorded this week. We need to do episode 90.5, which is the season finale of season 3 of Between Nerds podcast, where we're gonna go over the past 30 episodes, which is episode 61 through 90. This is 90.
Reassess what the podcast is. Will we keep going?
Right, and a lot of times while recording, we run into these instances immediately afterwards recording, where you're like, oh, I can bring up this, and that, and we'll bring up these discussions in retrospection, and for you all, we're gonna re-go over these housekeeping notes. We need you all to enter the April giveaway. We're trying to actually get some traction for the Autism Society of El Paso.
And all our donations across every month.
Right, exactly. So, from you as a listening and viewing audience, we need you to use hashtag Nerds for Autism. That is NERDSFORAUTISM, an original tweet, Instagram post, or YouTube comment to be entered into our April giveaway. For every like and retweet on said Instagram post, tweet, or YouTube comment, we will be donating to the Autism Society of El Paso. And when we mean donation, when we mean giveaway, we mean some free, hand-picked nerd shit specifically for the winner. You like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we'll get you JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You like Bakemonogatari, we'll get you some Nekomonogatari.
You like Hanebado?
You like Hanebado, we'll get you Hanebado. And we're not even asking for the price of shipping. We will ship you this shit across the world for free. All you have to do is use the hashtag publicly. That's all you need. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please hit us up on social media. That is @BetweenNerds on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And you can email us at betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com.
And join us next week for our discussion on the swimming sport anime brought to you by April Madness here at Between Nerds. It is going to be a swimming anime. It has 3 seasons in a movie, you were telling me?
So we're going to be watching the Kyoto Animation. I know you know this name.
Yes.
The Kyoto Animation modern sports classic that is free. Has 3 seasons and a feature-length film. We're going to be watching the first 2 seasons, I think. I don't think I got a solid answer from you.
No, we can.
Okay, first 2 seasons. So we're going to be watching 24 episodes and discussing up until the end of season 2 for free. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, we love Kyoto Animation. Like, if anything, I feel almost bad for Lightning Films being the first time I've ever heard their name. And that's the production studio for Hanebado. Like, I feel like if this was their first work, I'd feel a lot better for their trajectory. For something like Kyoto Animation, I feel like we expect a lot no matter what. So, Kyoto Animation. I'm excited. We haven't seen anything Kyoto Animation in a while since we watched season 1 of Violet Evergarden. So, and
we know they do great. We know they do great.
We love the shit out of Violet Evergarden.
And man, like, just jumping into this, like, sport animes, it brings. I told you this off mic, that I can't believe we haven't brought it up before. Sports anime. But I'm glad we're doing it as a theme month. Because if next year we're gonna discuss like some like 90s anime,
Yeah.
we're gonna finish free
Mm-hmm.
by then. You know, stuff like Kageguri, like gambling anime. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like
Yeah.
that. It puts you in a very different mood than all these animes do.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, again, no Nerd Down from today. Expect a doubled up episode release sometime fairly soon. This is Drew Philip Elias. This is Aldo Mendez. I guess this has been Between
Nerds. That is it.